Hello, my name's Dr. Mike Scanlon, and I'm doing a few films at the moment of some approaches, some tools, some therapy tools really that I use a lot with the people that I see and try to offer help to who are struggling with anxiety, depression, or maybe even psychological trauma and other distressing experiences. And what I want to share with you today is a really simple way to bring mindfulness very quickly, very effectively into your life with the particular purpose of stopping and making better choices, using mindfulness to put you back as the person that you want to be, living like the person that you want to be, the better version of you. Because we suggest in acceptance and commitment therapy, and a lot of you will recognize this, that there are broadly three selves. And the first self is the one that's critical and unpleasant to us. And that very often has its roots in our past and times that have been difficult for us. And we call that our perceived self. And when stuff is happening like it is now, and we're in real sort of difficult times, and we're faced with lots of stress, and there's a real sense of us trying to be the best we can to get through COVID-19, then this is the time that, unfortunately, we find ourselves a bit stuck in that old perceived self. The second self is actual self. And what we mean by that is present moment self, the who I am right at this moment now. Not back then when I was 10 or 12 or 15 or 19, but now. So we perceived self, very often not that helpful. Actual self is where we can actually judge ourselves fairly in the context of where we actually are right now. And the other self, which is fabulous, is if we can find our mindful, observing self. And that's when we sort of look at ourselves with friendly curiosity and say, what are you doing? You know, with a smile, no criticism. And the observing self is where we can look at ourselves, realize whether what we found is brilliant, because it sometimes is, or what we found is very much stuck in that old critical place. So to achieve this, we use this technique called BOLD, which I'm going to take you through now. So the B, as you can see on the slide, suggests that we take one mindful breath slowly. And the best one, I think, for this is gently put your hand on your tummy. And we take one breath in through the nose. And we fill the abdomen. And then we just breathe out. And that mindful breath does two things. It slows us down and it helps us create enough calm to actually then very gently and with no judgment move into our observing self. And that's when we look at ourselves and we say, how are you doing? How are you responding to today? Or are you reacting to today? How are you doing? Are you okay? And that's that real lovely self-check-in bit, the observing self. The O is observing. The B is the breath. The L, though, now this is where it gets really interesting for me, because this is where you really turn on your curiosity part of your brain and you properly lean into yourself and you look at yourself and you lean in and decide and check in as to whether the person that you're looking at here, is that who you want to be? You know, is that a person that's been living their life in touch with what really matters to them, their values? And sometimes it'll be yes, that so is. And then the D is make a decision. If what you liked and what you saw was really good and you liked what you saw, then the decision is let's have more of that me. We'll have more of that, please, because that person is functioning, that person is working. And if you look in and you think, oh no, that's not who I want to be, that person is rushing around everywhere, that person is self-critical, that person is being unkind, that person is not the me I want to be, then the decision you make is right. Let's move forward, trying to be the person that I want to be, that lives his or her life in touch with what really matters. Now, you see there on the slide, it talks about use your phone. The way I do this, I'm looking for my phone now, I think it's in my pocket, it can stay there, is I set my phone to go off about 6 times a day with a gentle bong sound. I like the bong sound. And when the bong goes off, I stop whatever I'm doing and I do a bold. Mike, I take a breath, I move into my observing self, and I lean in. And if what I see I like, I make a decision that, yeah, I like that. That's the me I want to be. But if what I see I don't like, I say, no, come on, let's be the me I want to be. And I refine him. So we're using mindfulness in a very sort of structured way. And we need prompts to remind us to do the bold. So we either use our phone, or perhaps what you can do is just say to yourself, every time I have a cup of tea, that's when I'm going to do a bold. Or every time I have a drink, that's when I'm going to do a bold. And ideally, we should be doing this 5 or 6 times a day. You can't do it too much because it's bringing mindfulness into your life. So my hope is you found that really, really useful. And thank you for listening. Bold. Use it.